beautiful souls. Welcome to the Raw and Wild Hearts podcast. I'm your host, Lori Rising, star channeler and transformational mentor. And welcome to today's episode called Courage Is Contagious. Yes, it is. Ooh, and it's the natural high that we came here to experience. Y'all, for generations, we have been numbing ourselves out. We've been looking for something outside of us. We've been needing something to just create that high that we've been chasing because it was nowhere to be found in our experience because we have gotten so out of alignment. But y'all, I am here for this consciousness revolution and reclamation. That is no longer the reality. We are experiencing the bliss of this body, this experience, this life, when we are in alignment with our innate truth, with our divine majesty, with our magnificence and our greatness. Now, I know it's an unfolding process, and it's been going on for a while now, but I know you're getting to the layers where you're getting the results that are fueling the practice. They're fueling the intention, they're fueling the declaration and the investment in your soul growth, because that's where we become unstoppable. Here's the deal, y'all. When we find the courage to take the risk of whatever is opening or expanding in our life, and also we find the staying power in that, everything elevates, everything amplifies, and so many more paths become available that may have already been there, but our blinders didn't let us look in that direction. And this is the kind of energy that's the ripple effect of our life. And then when we start living in this kind of badassery, those around us start paying attention. They feel it, they respond. And this podcast is coming from a very specific example and story and reality of my life that I want to share with you, because I want to share with you the unfolding of it. We've become such a culture of convenience and immediate gratification and perceived failure that we so often give up before we even try. We let the energy fuel us, what we've known in our past, or the emotions that we've attached to past memories and experiences. And believe you me, all of this freaking scarcity selling has kept us from even giving it a go. It's kept us from copious amounts of potentials in our lives, in connections, friendships, partnerships, in business, art, creating, love, family, locations, moving, the unknown. And the way that I'm going to tell you the story is actually the framework of how I do business with my innate guidance system for my personal unfolding in life, for greater states of awareness, consciousness, and psychic connection, so that I don't have to spend all of my time forcing something that's already in the potentials around me. And I've got to tell you, it's magical AF. But I also want to say that it takes patience fueled by trust of the unfolding and evolution of this life over time. Okay, so are you ready for a little story? A little something, something? Two of my friends already have heard this story, and they heard it when I was in my natural high, when I was like so pumped up. I was so stoked on, honestly, myself, on feeling nervous, on slaying the mind story or the internal resistance and doing it anyway. Letting myself feel what's coming up and still follow the opportunity that's being presented. Yeah, okay. I hear some of you out there and you're like, get to the story. We want to hear it. It sounds juicy. Okay, so I have been living on my land for a little bit over a year now. I'd say about 14 months. And it was probably a good 4 or 5 months in, probably 6 months in. And I was starting to get to that point where it was like, all right, it's time for me to start building community here. I want to reach out. I want to find other people that are in my vibe, that are creating in the same way that I am. Definitely, I'm looking for people that are homesteading, people that are spiritual AF, people that are absolutely creating the new earth in this consciousness revolution and being very intentional and impactful with all that they do and everything that shows up for them. And yeah, so what I do is I deposit the desire, the dream, the manifestation in my energy field first. And it's like I create a home for it there, and I check in on it every once in a while and give it life, but yet I also let it breathe and I let it do the job in the energy of the foundation that's being built there. So, putting out the signal, the little bat signal that I've got. And I started testing the waters. So I would go to the farmers markets and check them out and talk to people. I was trying to go to some events. I don't think that happened in the way that I thought it was going to because I had some other things come up last summer. But I also at one point went and tried out for an acting gig. And it was mainly just to be with people. And it wasn't even really because I'm an actual actor. And that actually became a super hilarious moment and story. That's for another time. So anyway, there was one point I was at the grocery store and I was checking out and I saw this person that just caught my eye. They caught my energy. And I was like, wow. Was this feeling of we could possibly be in the same vibe. We might be in the same frequency. Like there's just something there. And so I finished checking out and my linear mind was kind of like pulling me to leave. I could feel that, right? Like the easy way to go about this would be to just leave. But yet the spiritual centeredness of me was like, Lori, go see if you can find that person and just say hi. This could be a new friend. It could be the start to a community for you because your guidance system said to pay attention. So after I checked out, I went and walked all over the grocery store and couldn't find them again. I was like, dang, because I thought I was for sure going to walk up and say hello. So I left. And that was that. Didn't really think much about it afterwards until I had a friend actually visit me recently. He was here, I think a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. And we were going to that grocery store. And he is one of the most social little butterflies I've ever met in my life. So he makes friends really easily. It's his vibe. He's Aquarius. This is where we're going in the age of Aquarius, really finding the people that get us on that soul level. And for some reason that made me think of this encounter and I just told him about it. So fast forward to like a week later and I'm in the grocery store and I'm rounding the corner and right there, smack in front of my face is this person again. And I was like, oh. And they smiled and said hi. And I smiled and said hi and walked by. And I was like, oh my God, that's the person. They are here. They actually ended up working at the grocery store. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Right. So my thoughts start buzzing and I go to fill up my water. And I'm just like, I can tell that the part of me that wants to feel safe and wants to hold on to what I've known was like, oh, if you run into them again, then maybe you say hi or you just leave, right? Like it wasn't enough of an encounter. And I think I even thought to myself like, oh my gosh, I can't say hi now because I should have said hi right when we locked eyes or whatever it was, right? All the ridiculous stories we come up with. So I'm filling my water. And then by the end, I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to go into my section, which is the natural food section, of course. And there they are. And I was like, I could feel my body getting so nervous just to even say hello. It's like the cold call, right? And I'm walking up. And so they happen to be in the section where I'm looking for something specific. So there's a part of me that's like, I'm just going to ask them the question and tap into the energy. And I could even tell that I was hoping their energy would be a no for me because it just would have made everything easier, right? So I walk up and I ask the question and they end up being super cool. Like I can tell the energy is rad and I'm like, oh, okay. Like clearly we could probably definitely be friends. That's definitely what I was feeling from that. So I walk away and I go all the way on the other side of the store and I'm working myself up. I'm getting myself all nervous and creating all these stories, right? Probably stories of rejection, even though that wasn't what was in the forefront of my mind. I just remember feeling like, well, I'm just going to leave. And if it ever happens organically, like I'll be here for it, right? Like somehow we smash into each other and then it becomes funny and we start talking or something like that. So I'm about to leave and I just, I follow my confident, risk-taking self. And you've got to remember, like, I am a very outgoing person, clearly. If you're here listening to this podcast, thank you. I'm so excited. And I've gotten really comfortable in the ways that I'm outgoing. So this became more uncomfortable for me to literally walk up to someone to engage for a potential friendship in the area that I am because I spend a heck of a lot of time alone out here on my land. And it's just not something that has ever really even began here. So it was totally new for me. I'm used to meeting people online. I'm used to meeting people at my containers, like all of that. But it just felt like higher stakes. Like there was definitely a huge nervous energy that made it into this experience for me. So anyway, I'm getting ready to go and I actually took one of my business cards out and I was like, well, try one more time. Just go over there and see if you'll do it. Basically, it's like I willed my body to move over there. And then I was going to see if my mind would catch up to say yes to the courage and the risk that felt like it might not be safe in the moment. And I guess I will add into this that there was definitely an attraction for me in this situation. And that has been very absent in my experience for quite a number of years now. So, now it's probably that's been fueling all the nerves this entire time. So I go over, they're gone. So I'm about to leave. And of course I tell myself, well, if it's meant to happen, it'll come back around and I'll see them again. And that's when I'll say hello. And as I'm leaving, I'm like, you know what? Get creative. This is the power of being in the present moment and the power of being in the creator energy because we get to shift anything in our experience at every single moment of this iteration and this life. So I kind of even chuckle at myself and I walk up to their coworker and I'm like, hey, I don't usually do this, but I'd like to leave my business card with you. Your coworker seems really cool. I've really felt good energy and I'm new to town and I'm looking for more community and friends. Would you mind giving my card to them? And she was kind of confused and she's like, well, yeah, they're like one of my best buddies here. I'm like, great. So then I'm walking to check out. So I'm walking to check out and I walk up to the checkout line and my cart stops because there's somebody squatted down in front of me and there they are. And at that point, it's like everything just diffused, right? And I just started laughing. I was like, well, now I have to talk to them because clearly I've given, you know the story by now. And I just start laughing. I'm like, so here's a funny story. And they look up at me and I'm like, I just gave my business card to your coworker to give to you because you just seem really friendly. You have great energy. I'm new to town and, I'm really looking for new friends. And I don't know if you ever want to hang out sometime or chat, my information is on that card. And they were like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And so we said hello, we shook hands and they were like, I'm going to go grab that business card. I'm like, great. And I walk away and I am so freaking proud of myself. I am overjoyed at the evidence that I have now brought into my life and into my field for what happens when you take the courage, what happens when you say yes, especially when you're being guided in a certain way and you let the stories go and you let yourself honor that guidance system to see where it's going to go. So I'm standing in the checkout line feeling slightly just a little bit embarrassed, but again, that's just the nerves, but I'm so freaking excited. I'm like, I did it. Like this came back around months later and I showed up for it. So that courage became so flippin' contagious for me, y'all. This is actually the point of the story. So that wasn't, this is. I'm standing in line and there's a woman in front of me and she's got like 8 things on the checkout line, whatever, belt, the conveyor belt thing. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like an order that I would have. Like that looks like the things I would buy in a grocery store line. And even the fact that oftentimes I go to the grocery store for like 5 to 8 things. And I'm like, she seems really cool. Like I start tapping into her energy and I was like, oh my gosh. And so the courage was so contagious for me. I just easily flowed into talking to her in the checkout line while she's checking out. And I was just like, hi. And she said, hi. Confused a little bit, of course. And I was just so honest. And I was like, I'm looking at the stuff that you have that you're checking out with, and that looks like the food that I would have. And so I'm just going to assume that you've got great energy. We've got, the same vibe. And I'm new to the area. I'm looking for friends. And I don't know, like I would love to talk or get to know you or go for coffee or whatever it is. And by that time, she was chilled out, she relaxed into it. And I got my business card out and I handed it to her. And it was a little chaotic because she's checking out and stuff. And as she's leaving, I was like, yeah, so I have an acreage that I'm turning into a homestead, something. And she was like, I have a homestead too. I was like, no way. I have been deeply wanting homesteading friends. I mean, I got on Facebook groups. I tried to connect with people that are homesteading around my area. Nothing had been coming through. Nothing was, syncing up. So when she said that, I was like, oh, please send me a message. Please. I would love to come see your setup. I'm just a budding homestead and I'm doing it on my own. So I learned best through experience. That's my North Node in Sagittarius. And the bonus would be to have this amazing person that can be a great friend as well. So she left and y'all, I was lit up. My glow was radiating around me for probably a good mile. I mean, when I called my friends, they were so happy because just hearing me that happy on life, on the natural high of really what happens when we follow those innate leads and the signs that are sent to us by a benevolent and co-creative universe. Ooh, oh my gosh, it is amazing. So when you do gather evidence like that, then you say yes so much quicker. Then you actually discern those moments. And they become so much bigger than the stories of the evidence you've gathered based on past experiences that have created emotional fears or perceived safety concerns for your emotional health from the past. And y'all, I don't even have any of those. Like I have cleared them up. I have unentangled from so many of those mind loops and limitations. And I still got so nervous in the face of the unknown. And I guess it becomes the unknown of the original person's life. But in reality, it actually comes down to trusting ourselves, that we will have the discernment and the empowerment to make those informed choices for our life if that person isn't aligned with us, if their vibe isn't right, or even the trust that we can move through a feeling of rejection if there's not a warm welcome on the other side. Okay, so I know you're sitting on the edge of your seat to hear how this story has played out. First and foremost, I have not heard from the original person that I left my business card for, and I haven't even really given it a second thought because I am so aligned with absolute frequency matches of who's going to be in my inner circle and my world going forward as I've continued to evolve in my multidimensional self and higher activation. So no worries there. But here's the best part is the woman that I talked to in the line checking out has the most gorgeous acreage with her family. She has a retreat center on it. She has a hip camp. She's a yoga instructor. She has llamas. She has goats. She has everything that I'm looking to build here on my acreage. So it's a wonderful connection. I am so stoked to even know that there is someone this close to me that is absolutely a beautiful energy match to me. Now, we haven't had a chance to get together yet because of schedules. I have my huge Mexico retreat coming up. Heyo. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It is starting to build in really, really beautiful ways. But I am here for the unfolding. And to be honest with you, even if nothing comes of this connection, I'm here for the natural high. I'm here for the courage. I'm here for the risk. I'm here for saying yes through the nerves. I'm here for the unbelievable impact of the daily messages that we get in our lives when we follow the energy of them, when we truly believe in them and we let ourselves move down an entirely new path. No matter what we have in front of us, no matter how much time we believe we have or don't have, and we engage anyway. And I'm here for the momentum. Y'all, this is the ripple effect. You know, if you've been in my containers for a while, how much I talk about this, because when we do the deepest personal transformative work in our lives, when we move through embodied root wounds and patterns, and we start to live from our majesty and our mastery in this life, which means what is showing up for us in our worlds, not what we're forcing, not what we're expecting, but what we're receiving. So I just want to reiterate here how manifestation works. And this really is how I work with everything in my life now. I create the desire, the dream, I bring it in the energy, and I check in on it. I nurture it. I give it nourishment, and I trust that it's going to arrive into my life in divine time. And I know that I'll be available in every present moment to pick it up and to say yes to it and to turn, adapt, pivot into a new energy at that time, because I don't let myself get stuck in the old patterns and the old stories. I let myself explore the feelings that I'm having at that time, and I do it anyway, and I move through. Y'all, we've got to be available for the nudge, and we've conditioned ourselves to look for the force. I'm going to say that again because I feel like that one was really impactful. We've got to be available for the nudge because that's how the universe and energy works. We've got to stop looking for the force because that's how we've learned in these linear systems of control, stress, and bypassing the innate guidance system that wants to come in and flow and ease. So let's let ourselves gather new evidence for new beliefs, new systems, new identities, and new experiences that can't be referenced in our past or our lineage's past. And that's when they become the feeling of miracles, the natural high that we came here to move through, that becomes our greatest source of holistic wealth for so many reasons, but especially because of the beautiful hormonal cascade that they enhance in our bodies. Our hormones are one of our greatest assets, and we have been disrupting them for far too long in so many ways. And to be honest with you, if you want to know more about supporting your hormones, make sure you sign up for my email list and my newsletter, because I am going to be coming out with a really great one all about the necessity at this point of detoxing and how to do it safely. That was a little side note that just popped in, but it felt important to share because where we're going, the detoxing of our emotional worlds, our physical, mental, and spiritual worlds is so crucial. Now, I want to finish today saying something that I think I've already said, but again, it bears worth repeating because I want you to really activate this in your body from here. So, what if it's okay to feel nervous and you do it anyway? And what if that becomes your belief that becomes your new pattern? What if it's okay to stay in the arena and see it through, to get even deeper wisdom that propels you further in beautiful ways, even if it's not the expected or desired outcome? What if you can trust everything that's coming in by co-creating with it? And what if that space of intention and declaration emanates out into your families, your communities, your friends, and this collective, and become the strength of a people that's being led by their hearts in the desire for more connection through deep states of intimacy and authenticity of their feelings, to find the liberation and freedom of living beyond old stories, past experiences, and lost chances. Okay. That feels complete for today. Please let me know, how did that land for you? How does it feel? If you are a new time listener, welcome. I trust that these were the messages that were exactly meant for you at this time. And I would love your 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Whatever platform you're listening to, please make sure to subscribe, especially if you're on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. And if you're able, leave me a comment. Let me know. Tag me on IG. Take a screenshot. Let's start this conversation and let's ripple it out in really deep, divine ways. Now, if you'd like to know more about me and my programs and offers, just head on over to my hub at therawandwildhearts.com. If you have questions, hit me up at Lori@therawandwildhearts.com. And if you are absolutely ready to move beyond the internal struggle or loop that has continued to come back in your life in various ways and different experiences, you know it's time. Even if you're nervous, even if it feels scary, and the unknown feels unattainable right now, there's still something inside of you. You know that you're ready because you're tapping into the consciousness revolution that's happening. The energies are so unbelievably accelerated now. And if you don't have a mentor, a community, a membership, or even friend group that can really hold you as you're moving into new iterations of yourself very quickly, you've got to get it. Like, this is the time. If you haven't been on my YouTube channel to see what I'm talking about here, make sure to come on over and check out the latest videos, because they don't all become podcasts. 2024 is only going to continue to speed up. We've got a lot of Pluto action. And if you're going to double down in the resistance, it's going to get hella uncomfortable. So here's the good news. If you are vibing with me, I have 2 ways that you can jump in, and you've got to feel it out, because one of them is a 1-to-1 3-month mentorship journey. And I can promise you right now that you'll have the butterflies in your stomach or the nerves in your heart, because you know you're gonna let go of this old identity. You know that you are gonna come out a different person. And that can also mean that there's going to be some big changes in your life. We don't have time not to, y'all. We've got to get ourselves in alignment. We've got to be feeling these natural highs, the joy and the ease, because as the external world around us crumbles, all the systems that we have known for generations in ourselves, you will be thriving. And I'm here to be that person and that support and guidance system that gets you there so much quicker. This mentorship journey is unbelievably special. Every person that goes through, I'm just like, dang, watching the evolution is such a blessing. It's such a joy for me. I feel so honored when that declaration is made. And if you're looking for something a little less intensive, I've got my membership community. Y'all, this membership community is gold. It is so amazing. It's one of the most inexpensive memberships I've seen out in the world, and it is wildly authentic. We are doing the work. We are doing integrative root transformation in every call that we have. I have tons of bonuses in there. There's a wonderful WhatsApp support thread where the members really come in and encourage each other through the changes. And I mean, the testimonials alone, y'all, I don't have time to upload new testimonials because Your girl's got a lot going on with the homestead and the business and changing the whole world. You know what I mean? But if you ever want to check anything out, just head on over to my Instagram at the Raw and Wild Hearts and look at my highlights. I have tons of highlight reels in all the containers that I offer, including my retreats, the membership, the podcast, the digital courses that I have out, the meditations, all of it, y'all. So I also have freebies. Get into my freebies, get into that world, say yes, be intentional, come back to the practices every time you feel stuck. And I guarantee you, your life will change, you will evolve, and you will be amazed at how those around you do as well. Oh, and also I am still doing free events on Insight Timer. I've got the spring equinox coming up. I mean, get in while it's hot, because once my book comes out, I have a feeling business and my containers and the way I show up is going to change. Finally, I have a free workshop coming out as well. So if you're not on my email list, make sure you jump on. It's called Clear Your Channel, and I'm giving you pretty much the formula of how to get deeper and deeper in touch with this innate guidance system that leads you to the manifestations and the life that you were really here to create and thrive from. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for being here. I love you. Jump into my Instagram stories if you want to come along with us to Mexico for the Awaken Your Fire retreat over the Medicine Woman full moon. It is going to be absolutely lit. It's an accelerated ascension experience, and you can catch the vibes over the airwaves and in the light grid and the energy field while we do this work. And as always, until next time, don't forget to keep looking up.